Hi, I'm not Jim, as you can probably tell. I work for an organisation called People and Planet, and we are a student-led campaigning organisation. We work in universities and colleges around the UK, supporting students to campaign on issues that they care about. And at the moment, one of the issues they really care about is sweatshops. So for the last 3 years, they've been running an amazing campaign on the conditions in garment factories in the global south, and working in solidarity with workers who are trying to unionize and being prevented, or trying to ask for their basic labour rights. And out of that campaign came an organisation called the Workers' Rights Consortium, which I'm sure a few of you might have heard of. It's a US-based organisation which monitors the conditions in factories and goes in and conducts independent investigations in garment factories in the global south. And students were calling on their universities to sign up to this organisation, to pledge to keep it going. And that's where Electronics Watch has come from. Our students have recently been saying, well, it's all very well and good focusing just on the garments industry, but we're really interested in the electronics industry as well, and the purchasing power that our universities have. So that's where Electronics Watch kind of formed. And I apologise that I'm reading notes because it's not the campaign that I work on, so I don't know a huge amount about it, but I'm learning a lot more. At least I'm reading notes off my Fairphone. That's all right. So Electronics Watch is an independent monitoring organisation, and it's very new. It's just been set up. It aims to achieve respect for labour rights in the global electronics industry through socially responsible public purchasing in Europe. So the electronics industry, as you know, is one of the fastest growing global industries, with an expected yearly growth of 7% between 2013 and 2015. It's widely known and accepted now that despite the modern and clean image that the industry has, the working conditions are really appalling. Local governments and universities and large-scale consumers of electronic products such as computers, laptops, mobile phones, tablets, telecommunication equipment, not forgetting printers, servers, copiers and all of that. Together, these public buyers have considerable purchasing power. If they join forces and they can create significant leverage to influence structural improvement in the whole industry. So to meet this need, Electronics Watch has come about, and it's made up of a few different European organisations teaming up together. And we're funded by the European Commission, and we're aiming to embark on the formation of a consortium called Electronics Watch that will bring together the public sector buyers and local monitoring organisations. We aim to have Electronics Watch set up by mid-2015, with the first group of 50 public sector buyers from across Europe coming together by then. Southern NGOs and trade unions, as well as European public sector buyers and experts, will have an equal say in the governance of this new organisation. So Electronics Watch is aiming to monitor the working conditions in the global electronics industry and to enable socially responsible public purchasing power in Europe. So existing approaches are clearly failing, and that's something that we aim to combat. Despite the guidance provided by the UN guiding principles of business and human rights, governments are failing in their state duty to protect labour rights in factories, and companies are struggling to live up to their responsibility to protect human rights. Corporate codes of conduct and social auditing policies and practices fail in transparency and effectiveness. And currently there is no comprehensive and independent monitoring system for the electronics industry, which I find really just hard to believe. At the moment there's nothing that involves workers and local civil society organisations, and that's what we're trying to achieve with Electronics Watch. So at the moment public sector buyers don't really have a way or a will to act on labour rights, and an effective way to do so is they have insufficient leverage over huge brands, companies and manufacturers. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about how Electronics Watch will actually work. So we aim to have at least 50 or 60 public sector members across Europe and to start monitoring in 2015. And the team will be made up of a few key members, including members of Make IT Fair, Procure IT Fair, Good Electronics Network, and has been developed with 40 supporting organisations, including the Transport for London, the NHS Supply Chain, and other organisations across Europe as well. So Electronics Watch will aim to be the eyes and the ears of its public sector members on the ground, and verification is the missing link in most of public sector approaches on this. So we really hope to have that involved in Electronics Watch. So it will be based in Europe, but we'll have field staff in regions of electronics production and 30 different partnerships across Europe. We'll monitor using the Electronics Watch Code of Conduct that we draw up, contractual clauses, conditions that we ask to be cascaded down to suppliers, protocols informed by best practice, timelines, factory level improvement plans, information shared across members on databases, and a reform programme. So Electronics Watch has an advisory group made up of 3 constituencies, and one of those blocks is the public sector, and they continuously advise the project's development and how this organisation can be set up. I've mentioned we have a few founding members, such as Transport for London. We also have a few universities signed up to support the organisation. Edinburgh University has just signed up, and Leeds as well has signed up in the last week. And we're pulling together this advisory group as we speak, ready to launch in 2015. That's a very quick overview of the organisation, and I'm sorry if it didn't sound hugely convincing, but if you want to find out more, the best way to do it is to go onto the website electronicswatch.org, and there's all the information that you would want to know there, and you can get in touch with Jim Cranshaw, who runs the project as well, that way. Thank you.
Thank you very much.